While the sheep milking industry is relatively new to this country, its most progressive member has one of the largest dairy sheep flocks in the world. Antarag is one of 3 farms in Southland supplying Blue River Dairy with sheep milk from around 14,000 milking ewes.
So Antara is really the farming offshoot of Blue River Dairy. We've got 3 platforms and a runoff, and we're supplying milk exclusively to Blue River Dairy. It's actually now quite a reasonably small operation, but we're focused on growth for the future. We've got about 14,000 milking ewes for this season. We've taken the bottom 3,000 or 4,000 off this season to concentrate on lifting the performance. We'll go back to 14 next year and flat out sort of rearing as many lambs as possible to grow that. Our sort of short-term goals to get to probably 100,000. It's an East Frisian Pole Dorset cross that's been developed over a number of years, and it's sort of developing a type. We're not looking to establish a breed per se, but the Dorset gives it some solids. The Frisians give it the quantity of milk. The research program that we're involved with at the moment with Ag Research, one of the 4 key components of that is environmental impact. So there's a lot of monitoring going on and measuring the environmental impact. And it's certainly considered widely in the industry and those that are involved that it does have a much lower environmental impact. So we're going about sort of proving that at the moment. We're probably at capacity for the properties we've got, and we're talking to people now. We've got a number of people who are interested in becoming suppliers. So what we'll do over the next couple of years is get the excess numbers for them to start them off as suppliers, and they'll come through us and we'll supply the milk onto the factory. So there's a lot of interest out there for that to happen. It'll stack up to the old dairy prices, and it'll certainly be far superior to traditional sheep farming. So where we think a lot of that may come is some of your smaller scale operations who perhaps don't want a dairy but they can still be involved with sheep. On a per kilo basis, it's probably 2 to 3 times what cow dairy is, but you got to weigh that up against their relative production.
Currently we've got approximately 3,500 ewes on the property, and we're milking between 2,600 and 2,700. We're currently lambing, so the rest are lambing, and it's about 170 hectares. We're now on our 3rd lot of lambing, and that's a constant roundabout. We also raise all the ewe lambs, so that's quite a mission as well. So it is quite different. Milking the sheep, though, is good. Compared with cows, it's a lot cleaner, the cups aren't as heavy, and yeah, it's good. We've got 2 herringbone pits, which are side by side, and there we can get 60 sheep per side, so they're milking at 120 for those 2 pits, which takes 4 staff. Unlike a dairy herringbone where you take the cups from one side and then cup up the other side, there are cups on each side of the pit, so you really need to have 4 people, one working each side of the herringbones. The ewes are all EID'd and there are milk meters, so you can trace what each ewe is producing. A good ewe you can get up to 3 litres a day. We're averaging about 1.4, 1.5 across all of our ewes. Currently we have 6 full-timers and 6 casuals. That counts the 2 of us. We could probably do with some more, especially while we're lambing. We measure grass, you need to tail your lambs, you need to wean your lambs, you need to dag the ewes. So it is extremely labour intensive. The animals are actually in reasonable condition. Mastitis, we get a small amount of mastitis. We don't treat anything with penicillin, there's no penicillin on farm. With the lambs, we have the normal lamb problems, bloat and bits and pieces. I previously worked at a vet's, so we just work through all of those things as best we can.
This morning we're doing a lambing beat. This is our third lambing. It's now early December, and here we've been lambing since early August. It's been full, constant all the way through. We had 1 week where it was pretty quiet, but the rest of the time it's been pretty full on, 30 to 40 a day and up to 90. The earlier ewes will dry off in sort of February, and then there'll be another mob that'll carry on right through till May. As far as lambing for 3 months goes, we've got 4 paddocks that are completely out of the rotation. Because of the lambing beat, we've got to move on every day. It's not like a dairy farm where you can strip graze and then take the cows home each day. So we need 3 paddocks lined up. 2 paddocks have still got ewes and lambs in them, and 1 to go into tomorrow.
This is the infant lamb shed. I've got 3 sheds. They've been on mum for 3 days and then they come into here. We have automatic feeders. They're also given colostrum and handmade feeders, and we feed lucerne and straw and also pellets. In the sheds, we've probably got around 800 lambs in here currently. I can wean them at, normally on weight at 10.5, 11 kgs.
The future's potential is massive, and there's a lot of interest, as I said, and we sort of see growing out the numbers as part of our role, is sort of trying to lead the way there and get the sheep available. And we're looking at suppliers doing a type of a franchise sort of model where we supply the stock and make sure that there's an outlet for it so they're not sort of having to go and solve all those problems themselves. And our sort of short to medium term target's around about 100,000 ewes, and then continuing it from there. And as that grows, we see that the processing will grow with it.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.